So I'm hoping that you guys noticed yesterday when you were graphing that when you graphed this equation and you made a table, so you were making a little table for it, and you had like 0 and it would start at 1, 1 would be 10, and 2 would be 100, and this was one of yours. When you went to graph the inverse, it would be this equation, which seems super weird. We don't really know what to do with it. And I couldn't get Desmos to make a table for me, so I was just switching my x's and y's. So like 100 would be 2, and 10 would be 1, and 1 would be 0, and so on. So that's because we can't really do much with this. It's kind of difficult. So the inverse of an exponential function is a logarithmic function. Okay? And so what it really ends up being is y equals 10 to the x has an inverse of y equals log base 10 of x. And what we like y equals. Okay, because that is something that we can then type in our calculator, type in Desmos, and they'll give us a nice calculator. And hopefully you'll remember this. I know Algebra 2 is doing it now, so I think that you will remember it. If I say, this new page, if I show you this one, 2 to the 5th equals 32, and that is on your little white sheet that you're still going to want. It would be the same as saying log base 2 of 32 equals 5. So something important on here is this number 2, in both cases, is called the base. And so when you read this, you read log, and you say base 2, and notice it's like a subscript of 32 is or equals 5. So those are the words you say when you're saying this piece right here. Log base 2 of 32 equals 5. So for example, you're just going to practice in class converting back and forth. So if I say write 4 to the 3rd equals 64 in log form, you are going to change it. And so there's an easy way to do it. You're going to make a line like this. It kind of looks like an L, I hope you see. You're going to write the word log. The first thing I touched with my red pen was 4, so that's the base. The next thing I touched along the way was 64, and the last thing I touched was 3. Okay? Same as if I do it the other way. Example would be to write log base 3 of 127th equals -3 in exponential form. Same way, you're going to kind of swoop like this. First thing I touched was 3. Second thing was -3. That's my exponent. And the last thing was 1/27. So that's kind of it for my notes today. Tomorrow you'll be practicing finishing these.